Well, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this. Me double checking to make sure that my body is centered in the camera and centered on the chair, because I try and worry about, well, I don't try and worry, I do. I worry about my spine because I've got so much wrong with my body. I mean, not massively. I'm still within the normal range, but I got scoliosis and my spine, you know, you're supposed to look like a nice stack of blocks. Mine looks like a child with a tremor put it together. You know, so it's not good. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, though, thumbs up. Thank you all for coming to watch my vlog here. I do appreciate that. It gives me a chance to get my brain functioning, and I appreciate that to no end. There are a couple things, but only one, actually, that I wanted to talk about, which ties into two, but on Facebook, of course, I talk with this one person who lives like halfway across the country, but she and her family, they have strong issues. She is allergic to corn products to the point that it will kill her. Her children are allergic to corn to the point that it will kill them. So they have to really struggle and fight to stay safe because everything has corn in it. Everything, literally everything. You know that you get plastic garbage bags? You know how they slick and slide across each other without clinging too much? Cornstarch. It's in paper bags. It's in our food. It's in everything. She has to fight and struggle to find stuff that doesn't have corn in it. Even the people that are supposed to be careful, hospitals spray corn-based products everywhere. It's horrible if you were allergic to corn. I mean, we have so much corn in us they can actually find it on a cellular level. We have corn in the cells of our bodies. And it all started from the 1950s or so when the United States government started using corn as a platform instead of a crop. And now it's everywhere. And the problem, of course, with things being everywhere is the more contact you come into with something, the greater your chances of becoming allergic to it. That's why some people will just be fine all their lives wearing latex gloves or blowing on latex balloons, and then one day they put on a latex glove and they're having an anaphylactic shock and they're finding themselves unable to breathe and they're in the hospital. The constant contact with the proteins in the latex finally triggers an allergic response. So yay! But the thing I wanted to talk about is because of her issues in that way, she and her family are immune compromised. And all this stuff with people acting like fools and idiots, I understand panic, but you gotta stop and think. You have to, because people buying up all of the masks, these are people that actually need them and they can't find them. Or if they do find them, a pack of 16, which would have cost $5, is now a couple hundred. All the hand sanitizer going. People buying idiot stuff like runs on toilet paper. People. But all of this panic, and especially what bugs me so much, is using these standard masks that are getting used up, you know, so that people that need them can't have them. They're primarily 99% of the time used not to protect you from other people, but protect other people from you when you are sick. Wearing a mask, especially the coronavirus mask, which thrives in a moist, damp environment, which if you have one of these masks on and you're breathing through it, the moisture of your breath turns the mask into a breeding ground. You're increasing your risks. So it's horrible, it's nasty, it's awful, it's terrible. And especially since we found out that here in Washington State, for months we have been sending thousands of tests trying to get them checked to see who would have this stuff. And the CDC has refused to check them. They're stacked up and waiting to be checked, and they're not. We've had the actual CDC coming out in reports calling up people in Washington state to say, stop testing. They're getting in trouble because they're doing their jobs. It's wonderful. So thumbs up on that. So all you can do is be alert, but not anxious. Now, I'm social anxieties anyway, so I tend not to go out where there's lots of people, where you're, exposure, that's the word I was looking for. I was trying to think, I was going contagion, but that wasn't right. Your exposure is greater in large groups of people, such like that. But still, if you're smart and careful, you can be okay. The biggest thing to do is wash your hands and don't touch your face. That's hard to do. It takes 21 days to break a habit. And people touch their faces all the time. After all, the very day we had people from the CDC saying, don't touch your face, you have to stop. And the first thing they did when they had to turn a page was they licked their finger to turn the page. It is a hard thing not to do. But right now, you need to not do it. And for me especially, that's really hard. My nose is running like crazy because I'm allergic to leaf mold. My allergies are nuts. I am blowing my nose like crazy. And my eyes, I've got not allergies, but my skin produces a lot of oil. And then oil collects in the corners of your eyes, along with dust and other mucus stuff from your eyes. And my eyes are delicate enough that skin oils on the surface of my eye triggers all the pain receptors. So I have to get tissue and get the oil collections out of the corners of my eyes. So right off the bat, I'm touching my eyes. I'm touching my nose because I'm blowing my nose. I touch my mouth because my upper plate is broken and breaking, and I can't afford to replace it. So I only have this, and this in my mouth when I'm around people, when I got my webcam on, or I'm eating. Otherwise, I pop them out so I don't stress this out so it'll last longer. So I'm constantly touching my own face, so I know that other people are going to find that difficult. But I still need to buy things, and I still go places. Like last night, I went walkies. I did the 6-mile round trip walkies here to Walmart and back. I had enough change in my pocket. I walked into Walmart. I bought one of their little 50-cent, they call them pies. They're only this big. They're a 50-cent thing. They're like 3 ounces. They're a little tart or whatever. And you can get sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie. There's peach. All sorts of little just snack treat things. So I bought one of those, and I bought a Diet Pepsi, fully caffeinated, so I could sleep, of course. And then I just bought those and then left and then ate them as I walked back. But I don't walk around people. I don't go around people that are acting different, like if they're ill. Now, I know with this bug, which I don't want to get demonetized, so I'm not going to say the name, but you're contagious without having any obvious symptoms. So that's not a real good indicator. But still, I don't go where there are people, so I'm not stacked around others. And even though the bug will float in the air, because if you sneeze, and if you just have a regular cold and you sneeze, the air is filled with droplets and live bacteria and live viruses that stay free-floating for hours. So if you're contagious, you've sneezed, and unless you sneeze into something like your elbow or whatever, all those droplets are contagious for hours. But I just walked in, grabbed what I needed, didn't even go through. I always try to go through a checker line with an actual person. But especially now, I just use the automated things and go through there. So I'm still out and about. I'm still where there's people. So I can be reminded that I'm not alone. But I'm making my actual risk of exposure as little as I possibly can. If I get it, I get it. And there's not a lot that you can do. You can reduce your risk exposures, but unless you're going to quarantine yourself from others, there's not a lot you can do. There's going to be risk factors. There's going to be exposure factors. There's going to be just your general immune system factors. So if I get it, I get it. I'm not around a lot of people. I can't imagine that I'm going to get it, but you never know. Now, I am really approaching the danger zone of those who do not have good effects because of the bug, oddly, and its low fatality rate, which is still incredibly, I mean, it's only like, what, 3%? Which is much higher than the flu. But it's also, it could have been worse. Anybody at all who dies from this is one death too many. So don't get me wrong there. I'm not one of those who say, well, only these people are at risk, don't worry. No, any one person who dies is one person too many from it. Especially since, as preventable as it could have been, a head should be rolling for the number of people that have been affected and died from this. So yay on that. But if I get it, I do not have any that I know of underlying deep issues that would make it so I would die. But if I do die, I do. I mean, I'm in the last third of my life, and each third of your life is divided into thirds, and the first third of my last third is almost gone, so it's not like I'd be losing a ton. I mean, when you die, it's a tragedy for you, and it's a tragedy for the people closest to you, but everybody, as soon as you're gone, they do their best to forget because it hurts. So it's sadness when others die, but it's not a tragedy. It's only a tragedy when you die. And after all, as Mel Brooks once famously said, and if you don't know who Mel Brooks is, he was a very, very famous director and movie maker back in the middle part of the last century. Directly affected how a lot of things are still made today. But his definition of humor and tragedy is when I cut my finger. Humor is when you fall into an open sewer and die. So, hey, comedy and tragedy. Still, as stated, it would be sad. So, for me, and for everyone wondering, like, where did this guy go? Just as there's this one fellow that I don't know what happened to him, and it makes me sad. There's this one channel called MK, and it was started up by like this Slazo fellow, and then Slazo did a lot of the readings for it, and then this fellow Damian Lee took over. And I've started watching for Damian Lee. And then they started transitioning to new hosts like this Zach fellow, and when I load up MK and I hear Zach, I just turn it off. If I load it up and I hear Slazo now, I turn it off. I'm there for Damian. Damian hasn't been doing anything at all on MK or his own channel. I don't know what's happening. I looked on his Twitter and then he just talked about stuff, and then boom, middle of last month, vanished, and I don't know what's going on. It makes me sad and depressed. Only mildly depressed though. Oh boy, that really itches. My apologies. So anyway, point being, we're all alive, and do your best to stay that way. Be smart, and yeah, thumbs up for that. Now, he says, turning quickly to the side, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. It is a range of 25 people because even though I count in American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibro, and more, I'm amazed that I can remember my name is not Rutherford P. Farquhar. Ooh. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker and I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. Later on, I'm going to read the comments, answer as many as I can, thumbs up each one I do. But until then, I'm just thanking you for having left me a comment. It is appreciated to no end. Now, coming back to this camera, because I am not very professional, but I'm an amateur, so I have an excuse. We have Chris Sparks, thumbs up and thank you. Doss, greatly appreciated. Ash Bodden, thumbs up and thank you. Ketchup Balls, thumbs up and thank you much. Guz S, thumbs up and thank you. Michelle Smith, greatly appreciate. Kathy Kitscat, good to see you. Dodo Studio, thumbs up and thank you. Ein Carnes, thank you very, very much. Thrill Night Core, thumbs up and thank you much. And Kieran Metallica fan, greatly appreciated. Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up and thank you. Shaviko, greatly appreciated. Russian Timing, good to see you in the comments. And then we have Colin Reisenauer, thumbs up. Elder Wolf 569, thumbs up and thank you. Bailey Snyder, greatly appreciated. Then we have Conspo Lopez, been a while since I've seen you in the comments, but good to see you, thumbs up and thank you. Foxy Trot Songs, thumbs up and thank you. Valkyrie, greatly appreciated. We have Indigo Child, thumbs up and thank you. Confused Owl 29, good to see you. Potatotron, definitely a good thing to see you in the comments. It is a very, very good thing, thumbs up and thank you. Made in CDA, I hope I went from 22 to 23 to 24. I always get lost right in that transition from like 22 to 24. So if I messed up, my apologies. But last but not least, this guy. Greatly appreciated, each and every one of you switching back over to this camera. You get me out of my head into the world, dealing with real people and with my depression and all these things. It is a very good thing to get out of here and dealing with other people, even if only in text, even if only just knowing that when I'm yammering, somebody on the other side is listening. Thank you very, very much. It is appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up. If you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. If you would like to help me out, but you don't want to send money to one of those two places, I have a PayPal link down below if you could check that out. And if you wanted to help me out, but you didn't want to send money, I have an Amazon wish list link down below with things like hamster food, cat food, hamster bedding, silly things, not silly things. If you could check it out, that would be very cool. Now, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get for my existence. And of course, if you could subscribe to the channel and hit that bell, that would be very cool, greatly appreciated. I would understand if you did not wish to, but if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time. Very cool. Well, definitely a thumbs up. I'm still working on all sorts of things. I'm still working in my head on all my story stuff. I'm still doing my best to think on things. I spent a lot of time working on all sorts of stuff and adding to the mythos of the horror pantheon. So thumbs up on that. Definitely a good thing. So I've got this video that you've been watching. Hopefully you've been watching it anyway. I have another video, hopefully to edit and render. If not, I got a whole bunch of videos I need to record. No, I do have one that needs to be edited and rendered, but I do need to record for tonight, and it would be good if I made another Reddit reading reaction. Definitely a thumbs up on that. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. And remember to smile, because your brain will thank you. A definite thumbs up.